I just hurt a white friend of mine's feelings. Oh, I hurt their feelings. I made them upset by talking about race, and I should know better, and I feel so bad about it. So horrible. Over the years, I've hurt so many white people, and I've caused so many white tears. It's terrible. White people, can you ever find it in your heart to forgive me for talking about white supremacy and white privilege? Because I know you're not supposed to talk about it. You're just supposed to sweep it under the carpet. And just keep sweeping it and sweeping it until it explodes.
Alright guys, so it's the year 2023, and you would think that it will be okay to be white, right? At some point in the future, it would be okay to be white, okay? It not being okay to be white is so 2022, right? However, that's not the case. Because this time, we got to talk about a heavy-set, woke white liberal who took to TikTok to declare black people as more morally superior than whites. Yes, that's exactly the argument that he made. Take a look.
You know, there's one great distinction between black folks and white folks. Black people have the moral high ground. They do. Black people have when you do a comparison morally between white people and black people, you have to take away one thing: supremacy. Black people do not have a culture of black supremacy. However, white people do. So white people are narcissists, social, cultural, systemic narcissists is who we are because of our racism, because of the lies of white supremacy. So how can white people have morality as long as we have bought into the lies of white supremacy? We can't. And how does that feel to know that black people have a moral high ground? How does that feel to know as a white person that you are sick, twisted, narcissistic, and immoral, highly immoral and inhumane? I don't use the N-word. What are you doing to fight and dismantle racism that benefits you, white person? Nothing. I ignore it, I deny it, or you perpetrate it. Those are the three things we do. We ignore it, we deny it, or we perpetrate it. That's what most white people do. I hate to say it, but it's true. And that's why I say we're social narcissists, and we have no moral high ground racially. We are sick, hurting people. Hurt people, hurt people. And we've been hurting a long damn time. We're hurting.
I love how this guy claimed that black people don't have a culture of black supremacy. I think that's what he said, right? And I'm like, bruh, have you ever heard of Black Twitter, right? Or the Congressional Black Caucus? Or any of these black-only events / black-only groups? Okay, there's a whole lot of those things, right, that we have, but you're not allowed to have white-only stuff, right? If you had a white Twitter or a white Congressional Caucus, they would call that white supremacy, right? But if you have it all black, right, only for blacks only, and we can kick out whites, okay, including black people who are not liberal, which means that you're white, right? How is that not a form of black supremacy? I think that is a form of black supremacy. But regardless, this person is making a mistake that, you know, a lot of people tend to make when having a race conversation, which is unfairly smearing and generalizing people, okay? Giving them certain characteristics based off their skin color, which by definition is racist. To say that white people, just in virtue of being white, that they are morally, I guess, inferior to black people is racist, okay? Again, it is amazing to me how the so-called race crusaders seem to be the most racist people on the planet. But in this guy's case, he's trying to get his woke brownie points from people who never, ever, ever trust and accept him. They will never, ever, ever accept this person, okay? Because no matter how much he wants to hate himself, hate his skin color, right? Hate who he is, you're not going to get the love and acceptance that you're looking for. Okay, you will never be invited to the cookout. And even if you are invited to the cookout, I'm not sure I want to go because the cookout might get shot up. Right, again, that's a joke. Okay, that's a joke. But my point is this: to call white people, or to say just because you're white, that means that you are sick, twisted, narcissistic, and immoral. That's just like saying that just because you're black, that means that you are a criminal. You tend to commit acts of violence. You are, less intelligent, right? I mean, it's just like me making that same generalization, those same statements. And guess what people would say? They would say that is racist. But here's the thing about this guy. He needs to worry less about his skin color and more about his weight, right? He needs to worry less about white supremacy and worry more about obesity, because it seems to me that he's suffering from a case of fat supremacy, right, over his body. Okay, it is reigned supreme. It has taken a role of supremacy over his body, and I would highly suggest that he lose some weight, because it sounds like this guy is struggling to breathe while hating himself for being white. Okay, and I think that, in my opinion, if I was him, I would get my priorities in line and worry more about yourself and who you are as an individual person and what you're doing. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing, right? Because it's not anybody else's prerogative to be anti-racist. Yes, in my opinion, I think that, if you're white or whatever, you don't need to worry about fighting racism, right? It's not your role to fight racism. Anybody's role really is just to be, or to try to be, a good person and a positive contributor to society. That is what people should strive to be, right? That doesn't mean they should strive to be anti-racist, which means be racist against whites. Just be a good person, and I think that the race issue will work itself out, right? If you're not a bad person, if you treat everybody equally, if you, have a colorblind perspective on life, and that's how you carry yourself, the race problem will solve itself. You don't need to actively be anti-racist. You don't need to actively being out here, crusading like this guy, right? Essentially spreading more hate, bigotry, and racism towards, your fellow, whites, right? Or whatever you want to call it. I don't believe that is what white people need to do. Okay. Just like I don't believe that black people need to be out here, trying to actively dismantle, racism or white supremacy, or none of that stuff. In order to succeed or get ahead in life, I think that most people should worry about themselves, being a good person, working hard, right? Doing what they got to do to get ahead. And a lot of these problems will work itself out. Right, the focus on race is why we still have this issue, and that is why the race conversation is a circular conversation that will never come to an end. Right, it will never ever end. Right, it's a circular conversation that we will continue to have because everybody puts so much focus on it. Right, when people stop focusing on it so much, then hey, maybe there will be less race issues. I'm just saying. I mean, it's pretty wild thought. But, in this guy's case, again, I don't think that race is the main issue that he's having in life. I don't think white supremacy is what he should be worried about. He really should be worried about, obesity, right, his own personal health, because it seems to me that he's struggling. He's struggling here. He needs to get his priorities in line, right? Stop worrying about other people, worry about yourself. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.